We want to have a whole menu of coping skills that we can turn to when we need them. Step number two is adding new positive coping skills that you haven't been using previously. Adding new coping skills. Okay. So if I were to ask you or anyone else, what do you do that's positive to cope with sort of negative feelings that you may have? Somebody may say, well, I go for a run or I listen to music. Okay, those are all good coping skills. But the thing is, we want to add to those coping skills. We want to have a whole menu of coping skills that we can turn to when we need them. Think when you go, for example, to a restaurant. When you go to a restaurant, there's not one item on the menu, there's a whole menu of types of things so that in that moment you decide, what do I feel like now? What might work to sort of quench my thirst and satiate my appetite now? And then you decide. The same thing really should apply to your menu of coping skills. So you want to have, like, let's say 14 different ones or 21 different coping skills that you can use in a week. So in a given moment, you can think, what should I use right now? When you have moments where you feel disconnected or anxious or afraid in your codependent relationship about how you're doing, how the other person is doing, what might happen, there's so much anxiety that goes along with codependent relationships. You, instead of just going to your one or two coping skills, because you are adding new coping skills starting now, you can decide, well, which one am I going to use now? And maybe in an hour, you'll go to use another coping skill. Writing them down, like on an actual menu, can be extremely helpful. So, examples of things that you could add to your coping skills: you could add a long walk, you could add a new type of physical exercise, you could add maybe drawing or making art, you could add writing, you could add calling a friend on the phone and talking about your feelings if that's not something that you would normally do, letting someone know how you're feeling. There's an infinite list of coping skills that you can imagine. But here is the point that you need to remember: add. That is the second point in starting to heal from codependency.